So during the weekend, this really cool show premiered on YouTube. It is from a company called Glitch Productions. I'm sure you've heard of these guys before. They have done a good amount of shows. Gaslight Avenue, I think. But the most popular one is, of course, The Amazing Digital Circus. They did that. That was really, really cool. They did Knights of Guinevere. That was a really cool 2D animated show about a failing theme park and I guess a spooky horror theme park for a princess or some shit like that. But it was really well done, real animated, really well animated. Amazing Digital Circus is the most popular one they've done. Awesome Australian studios, small time, but really, really popular, big. I believe they're gonna have the final episode of the Amazing Digital Circus showing in Malaysia. Shout out to the TADCKL Watch Party group. Really good job you did right there in, getting people on board, getting names, not names, yeah, names, audience numbers to tell Glitch Productions, hey, it's worth showing this in cinemas in Malaysia so we can actually show up in the tent and who knows, have more new YouTube animation stuff being shown in cinemas and, people giving support. So good on that. Good on those guys. So this show, Gameoverse. Gameoverse. I'm going to say Gameoverse. So it's a pilot. It's about a group of video game characters whose worlds have been destroyed. They team up and they try to save other planets and other video game worlds. So, see, the rule that established here is that whenever a hero of a world completes a big quest, i.e., kill the final boss in this one particular world, that world gets destroyed. So, this is unbeknownst to the heroes of each world. So, Kit is actually one of the characters. She is a Mega Man like cat person who has a power suit and all that. She's got a backpack called Caboodle, who is a robot who actually has powerful stuff here and there. She defeated the big bad nemesis. It's an eyeball cat creature thing, of a demon robot thing. They died, and then their world got destroyed and wiped out. They managed to escape, and they're being helped by this Dracula lookalike guy. I'm gonna guess it's the Dracula Alucard stand-in for this one because Gameoverse has a lot of characters based off different video games. I mean, you have a bad guy named Misinformation who acts as a tutorial. I mean, she is like I guess she's a guide system of sorts. She's a tutorial character. Like, she is a character who pops out a tutorial and teaches you stuff and tells you stuff, as you can tell from some of her jokes here and there. But at the same time, she is modeled off a character from Advance Wars. I believe it's Nell, the purple troop commander. And you got Gobbles, the pink Lernosaurus. He basically got picked up during one of the adventures Kit and Caboodle went through, one of the refugees of the destroyed world. And I guess Gobbles is also helping out. I mean, obviously, Gobbles is not the best combat-wise, but he is a very smart Lernosaurus character, making Kit find her inner center of, thinking things straight and through about what to do and everything. And then you've got Flappers, who is the dolphin that's the focus of this particular episode, whom basically Kit is trying to convince not to not save the world and fight the big bad guy who is basically a shark with a crown on its head. Yeah, so it becomes some sort of big ass misadventure in Flappers' world, the sea world kind of place with a lot of crustaceans, sea animals and all that. Flappers becomes a muscular kind of dude whenever it attacks enemies, fights bosses, collects coins, like a Banjo-Kazooie type character, basically, except actually, no, there's no exception. You could actually take this Flappers world and then you could put it inside a Grant Kirkhope kind of sound, give it a Grant Kirkhope soundtrack, and it worked out really well. I believe they also hired Grant Kirkhope for this that show's particular segment in the show itself. Flappers World fighting against King Shark and everything, really cool stuff. When the animation hits, it really hits. It gets really unique, and it's got weird ass different art styles. It got the little special flashes, and it's got like a little tribute at the end where basically they pay tribute to Monty who is the creator of Ruby, who passed away pretty early. Like, I guess it was probably a decade plus so ago. Yeah, so this show knows what it's doing. Is the pilot is showcasing a lot of what really works. The animation is a bit weird and jarring. People are complaining about like why the characters in bikinis. I mean, I would argue that yes, this is a beach episode. Let them dress whatever they want. But this is more or less like a pilot that just shows off that yes, this is what this show is capable of. In terms of fleshing characters out, this is not the show for that. But I'm sure things will be explained as it actually goes on and on, if this show actually gets the green light in terms of getting 8, 9, 10 episodes. But yeah, it is a very promising show, and I think this is what this is what Glitch needs to put out, especially when they wrap up a show like Amazing Digital Circus. They need something a bit different, maybe 2D. So maybe they can go with either Knights of Guinevere or Gameoverse. Maybe Gameoverse can come out next year with a whole slate of episodes, like maybe 2, 3, 4 of them per year. So that could work out. But yeah, very, very promising show. Good start for the Gameoverse group. I believe Eagle Raptor is also part of the production crew and also supplies the voices for, I think it was Cobbles and Flappers, the dolphin. So looking forward to see more. But for now, just enjoy the memes that pop up on Twitter regarding misinformation and Kit. I also played a little bit of Mina the Hollower. That is, we got the final build of the game. That full review is coming out later. But for now, we've got a preview build. I guess I could talk a little bit about the game. So Mina the Hollower is a 2D Game Boy-esque lookalike title that is basically half Legend of Zelda and half Dark Souls. I say this two games because you look at the top-down view of the game, it plays like a Zelda game, controls and all. And then it's Dark Souls because every boss you fight, every enemy here you fight, I've fought so far, is very, very challenging and tough. So I went through the graveyard stage, which is basically like, there's a demo of this game out. You get to play through, I guess, you get 2 bosses in the demo. And then in this particular segment, I only can talk about the graveyard and the boss. So I fought through the great graveyard, really, really awesome platforming and puzzle segments. There is a bit where you actually have to escort one person into a particular room. And that is its own slew of challenges because you don't want the guy getting too hurt, otherwise he will go back to the origin point. But at the same time, this area is very, very tough to navigate. So you need to be a bit creative in leading the ghost escort to go south, and while avoiding the pitfalls and traps and defeating enemies, so that you can actually make a path so the ghost actually follows you. The ghost cannot get hit by spikes, but there are some things like maybe a rolling spike pin. Not a pin. I guess it's a rolling trap. Basically, it's a giant log with spikes and it goes up and down. There's a lot of that in the graveyard stage, which you really have to jump over and avoid. Really, really awesome way these levels are designed. And I do feel the checkpoints are laid out really, really fairly because the game really requires you to basically be persistent in its default setting anyway, to be very, very, very methodical and careful with how you go through, because if this game has too many checkpoints, it becomes way too easy. So I like how the layout for the checkpoint system is, and oh yeah, the boss. Okay, so like any Dark Souls boss fight, you actually get like one form. Oh, it's actually not bad. Why is his life going down so fast? And then when it actually gets back up again, oh, it's got a second form. So the second form actually caught me by surprise. And yeah, I actually fought this boss for about like maybe 4 or 5 minutes. I died a lot within that time span, but got through it. I really love the challenge where basically it attacks in one different pattern. The room is the same. It's got a bunch of traps, which plate traps. You step on it, arrows come out. And the Duchess itself, which is the boss, actually has one form of attack or two in one form, and then when you defeat that form, it comes back again. It looks different. It's got a different bunch of attacks. But the thing is, it comes out in steps or so, and it's not very complicated. It will catch you by surprise at first. But when you fight it more and more, it becomes more apparent that yes, like any Dark Souls boss fight, they have a set pattern and you get to avoid it once you see that attack in a particular animation. The only difference is, here it's way easier to see it and it's more clear to see compared to maybe Elden Ring or Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, where half the time Mr. Miyazaki's gameplay and design philosophy has a lot of bullshit where it covers thing in a 3D action game. In this, a 2D action game, you get to see everything, no camera blocking the way, so you really have no excuse not to recognize telegraphs and attacks here and there. And I think this might be the superior game, but again, I've only finished through like these 2 stages. I can't wait to play the rest of the game. So far, it is very, very promising. I see Yacht Club Games actually doing a good job with this formula so far. So again, stay tuned for the full review in a couple of weeks. I am excited to jump into this game again once I'm done with all my video work here and there. Okay, last but not least, a really fun racing game, Forza Horizon 6. You can check my full review on the website, but here I'm just going to talk a little bit about what works and what does not. So Forza Horizon 6 is the latest racing title from Xbox Playground Games. It is an open world racing game where every track is playable, every part here and there is explorable, and you can tear up the place, destroy things a little bit here and there with whichever car you race in, whether it's a Mercedes, a Ferrari, a Nissan, one of those high concept Japanese company car, the ones that sound like hairdryers but are just super fast. Yeah, and then they have the spoiler at the back. Generally, you get concept cars, you get real cars, you get like everything in between, legacy cars, vintage cars, everything can play. And the theme is, you know, again, the world, the course you get to drive through is all across Japan, places that look like Niseko, Hokkaido, Tokyo, Kyoto. It's all combined to be this one big ass open world track with different cross country dirt tracks, street tracks, drifting tracks, parks, Mount Fuji, what have yous. Anything you see that you've actually seen in like the Grand Tour or Top Gear, that is Japan based, you'll see it here in Forza Horizon 6. Everything is drivable, playable. The structure of the game is the same as the last 2. I think the last game was 2022. Wow, it's quite a while, and that was set in Mexico. So in Forza Horizon 6, it's you go through a bunch of qualifier races. It can be like 2, 5, up to 10 to 20, and then you go to the next Horizon Festival Showcase drive, which is basically like a spotlight race. And that's probably I won't say it's the worst part of the game. It's the least challenging part of the game, that's for sure, because these showcase matches are more style than substance. You race a mech, you go through a cross snow avalanche thing, and a bunch of other like jumping races here and there or whatnot. It's, again, they're tailored in a way that it is simple to win, but at the same time they showcase more about what makes this graphic engine look really, really awesome. And it is a beautiful game. It moves really good, fast. If you have like a 4K GTX ray tracing enabled PC, it is going to be a beauty to show off. I think this is the game that's going to be showcased in many different shops and tech stores all over Malaysia, because this game is beautiful, pretty stuff. So this basically puts all the Gran Turismo to shame so far, until the next Gran Turismo comes out. Yeah, I mean, it might even get some people to jump ship, but who knows? Yeah. And yeah, the best part about this is it's got tweakable difficulty. You get to basically make the game as challenging as you want or make it easy as you want. I played through the game without assisted steering and handbrake controls and whatnot and braking. Very tough, especially when you're playing it during the snowing and the rainy parts of the game itself. The weather system comes back and it's very, very effective in terms of making the tracks very, very challenging. But so so it got really tough to the point where I just turned on all the automated settings, and hey, I actually had a fun playing through the game, just racing, having fun, collecting cars, and most importantly, playing non-racing events, exploring stuff, drifting, getting scores for like the highest speed camera scores and whatnot, like how fast you pass through this one area. I get 1 star to 3 stars, you know, really, really fun stuff. But at the same time, this isn't a huge change compared to... There are some new things like the stamp collecting feature, the tour system, some little nice story exploration bits here and there, and different cars, of course. I mean, this set of cars is actually more Japan focused and focus-centric, so there's a lot more cars from Nissan, Mitsubishi, Honda, and Toyota, and also different companies here and there. And the world itself, the landscape itself, the tracks, lots of snow, lots of like uphill curvy areas, big focus on drifting, which is always good. And overall, really fun tracks to play through. I only can recognize them through the world itself, the landscapes and whatnot. But at the same time, everything is just so fresh and fun. And maybe it does help that it came out like there's a huge time skip, a huge gap, like from 2022 all the way to now. 4, 5, 6. Like a 4 year gap. So I think this is really needed for Xbox. If they can actually have like a huge gap in between Forza Horizon games, then you can actually make the game feel fresh and, you know, take your time making it as polished and great as possible. And it really shows here in this racing title. So I'd say anyone who has a casual interest in racing, Forza Horizon 6 is worth getting because of the difficulty settings, the car collecting game itself, and the exploration. If you are really big on racing, yes, Forza Horizon 6 is the game to buy. I'm not sure how it controls on the steering wheel. I haven't tried that. I only play it on the control pad. Works like a dream. Beautiful game. Awesome challenges and settings and whatnot. The showcases are more style over substance, but everything else leading up to that is all very challenging here and there. So you're gonna get your racing jollies sorted here and there. So really awesome title. I recommend it, definitely. I gave it a 90 out of 100. It's on the write-up and everything. So yeah, good job, Xbox. Yeah. And this game's gonna come out on PS5 in 2026. Now, because of the recent Xbox management, I have a feeling they might have some bullshit delay popping up, like, oh, we can't have this game running on PS5, it's not that powerful, or whatever bullshit they have. I mean, you know, after Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond have left the company, some mandates might be changed last minute on the fly. I think they may have to pay a fine for it, but given this current day and age where exclusives are needed to make your console sell, I think Xbox might do what it takes to right whatever wrongs that were done to them, whatever silly mandates happen. And yeah, I know the genie is out on the bottle in terms of like Xbox games coming out on PS5, and the tax for actually putting that genie back into the bottle is going to be very high. But hey, stranger things have happened in the industry, right?